chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. And he makes it for par. Stepping up here on the 15th tee at the Wetlands, this is a 590-yard par 5. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Now his third, staring right at the green. That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Par attempt here. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
16th hole at the Wetlands is a par 4, 455 yards.
Once again, another reward for a straight tee shot, but this green heavily guarded by sand. So, good tee shot, and, well, this one, you're going to have to hit one of the better iron shots required at Wetlands. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage, that ball is swallowed up.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Par 3 17th, Frank, it's 238 yards.
There's still a chance for birdie here, though. Green shape's a little bit to the player's right, so a nice high draw coming in here. Even finding the middle of the putting surface will give you a chance to putt to really any position on this green.
That's a bit offline in the rough. From the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. These putts keep the round together. Good effort. And good par putt. Well, this is it, Frank, the 18th hole. And on paper, it looks like you can get this one. You can make a birdie because it's only 377 yards.
You're exactly right, Rich. Just a nice drive. Doesn't even have to be a driver here. It's going to set you up really short iron wedge into this short par 4. And, well, I always like to finish on a birdie. I know you do too, because a little walk to the clubhouse there on the left, maybe a hot dog or a hamburger.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Locked in on the read and the speed. Not a problem from there, right in the middle. Frank, disappointing couple of rounds there.
And consequently a miscut. No chance playing in the weekend, but there's more than one tournament ahead.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weisskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
Resuming the action here at EA Sports, let's go out to the 7th hole and pick up with our featured golfer. Nothing noteworthy here in the first round, Frank, but still plenty of golf to be played.
That's right, Rich. A little bit of a dry spell, but really not a lot of damage done. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Either misjudged the win or simply just pulled the wrong club, Frank.
Going to take some skill now.
All right, now another shot from the rough.
Yeah, this time better be better than the one we just saw.
Pretty good shot right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Now here at the par 4 8th, slight dogleg to the left, Frank.
And this dogleg's made more severe now by the addition of 2 bunkers. This was a bunkerless hole off the tee in years gone by, but those 2 bunkers certainly make this a sharper dogleg. And because it forces the player to go down the right side, adds length to the already long 475 yards. Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
He'll need to be strong with this. And it is not looking like a good lie.
Well, from in trouble, Rich, at least he's back in play.
On the fairway from the rough.
Well, it's going to take a good one here considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Oh, I thought he had that.
Yeah, a little unlucky there.
Just 5 feet left. You can see the look of disgust, and it's justifiable. It's a double bogey. Rounding out the front 9 with a par 4 of 453 yards from the back tee. Looks to be straight away here, Frank. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, that bunker, there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. There is now 1, and it also pinches into the fairway, which almost makes this hole look like a faint dogleg right. But really, the best line is still down the left side, so it still actually suits a draw off the tee. Green is slightly elevated and not very deep too, so judging that second shot, getting the right club is essential here at 9.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Frank, it's not just a golf tournament at the TPC Scottsdale.
It's a party.
It's a giant throwdown, isn't it?
It certainly is, but the atmosphere works there. It just fits in. The players are aware of it. They're quite fine to play amongst it, too, because it's such a rare event.
And to be honest, a lot of the fans, and there were almost 180,000 on Saturday alone in 2013, a lot of the fans, they don't see a single golf shot. They're too busy having a good time, having a party. Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Frank, he has to be scratching his head as he reaches for a sand wedge or a gap wedge for his next shot.
Well, you know the FedEx Cup, Rich. I mean, you're meant to get there by 10:30 tomorrow. That thing's still going.
That one was running so hot. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Just didn't have the speed. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. That hole certainly got the best of it. Triple bogey. He struggled on the front, but a chance to regroup here on the inward half, Frank.
Well, if you look at around the golf and you made a couple of double bogeys on the first or you made a couple of double bogeys on the end, it would still add up. Now, let's hope that the back nine is all gravy.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. Only thing that one was missing was the postage stamp, Frank.
Oh, look at that, airmailed that green. I mean, what a bad decision.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. Lining this one up for par. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5 coming home. So a good drive, perhaps with a little bit of cut off the tee, and that should shape up nicely for this long par 4.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway.
Second shot.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is gone.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Everything has gone wrong today. It just continues to be ugly. Well, that'll do it for day number 1, and a tough start for some of those who were hoping for better things.
Yeah, slow start, surprisingly, really, and hard to put your finger on why, because we saw a lot of good golf, but now, outside looking in, we'll need to play well tomorrow.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. Green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be. This looks like it's going to find the target. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Getting set now over the putt.
Well, the fourth hole looks like it's going to claim another victim. Even par, currently.
Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Well, Frank, now at the fifth hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut. Not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. All right, now another shot from the rough.
Yeah, this time better be better than the one we just saw.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Frank, just a shade outside 15 feet.
Well, if you're going to be like that, Rich, it's 16 feet to be exact. It's at sneaky distance.
Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
This to surrender, only one shot. Too bad he gives one back. Par 4 sixth, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
Frank, this one's headed way right.
And rough trees, all sorts of problems on that right side.
Frank, ball is in the rough here. What are the problems on this next shot?
Well, this is really where the skill level comes in. A good part. This is where the good player separates himself from the rest.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Down, little Sheba, down! Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that.
He'll need to be strong with this.
Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. This will be a 14-foot putt here. Boy, that was just a lousy putt right there. No other way to say it. So they'll tap in. Frank, how do you explain what we saw here?
It's a mess. It's probably the easiest way to put it. This is a case of anything that could go wrong. Not just probably, it did.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Just a little offline, so now, Frank, he's going to have to deal with a rough.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how strong he is.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Frank, too many missed shots and now a missed cut.
Yes, it's disappointing, but the experience gained from playing this course really will be invaluable. Now's the time, just pick your head up and move forward. There's always another week.
TT Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Back over now to the fourth. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision. But, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, now to the fifth. What's the strategy here at this shorter par 4?
Well, if you want to flex your muscles, Rich, take it over that left bunker. With a little trailing breeze, you might even get close to the green.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, nice to have a short iron into a par 4 here at Bay Hill, but still no guarantee that you'll make the birdie or even par.
But a reward for a good one, exactly the way you've described it. This is one hole that's a swing hole. Hit a good shot in here, you're going to have inside 10, 15 feet for a birdie. Make a mistake, then all of a sudden you're scratching your head. How did I make 5?
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a greenside bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
That was a pretty nasty lie out of the rough. You did the right thing there, Frank. And he's made it onto the green now. This one just requires a little bit of focus. So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Frank, back in 1998, by any chance, do you remember exactly how many golf balls John Daly hit into the water at the 6th?
It was half a dozen. Half a box of golf balls.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That is an excellent lag putt right there. Had the speed perfectly. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Well, after that beast of a par 5 with all the water, take a sigh of relief and you come to the par 3-7.
It still takes a good tee shot here, though, Rich. Narrow entry, greens 30 yards deep. You still really got to focus on hitting a good shot here.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Trying to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. This is a putt for birdie from long range. Probably would be happy to get down in 2. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. And that'll wrap up the first round. We saw some good golf today, Frank, but some others, they got off to a slow start.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to explain why. Maybe lack of practice rounds, maybe not enough time on the golf course. They certainly will have to regroup tomorrow and put up a show just to make the cut.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Its second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, site of one of the PGA Tour's premier stops, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Always attracting a great field, and through the years, it has been the scene of just some championship play from one guy in particular.
Tiger Woods has won there an incredible 8 times.
Moving on now, Frank, we're at the par 3 7th hole. What's the challenge here?
Really, the high ball hitters have an advantage here. Just try and carry it in the middle of the green. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, we talk so often about striking the golf ball. This player is a superior ball striker, but there's another element involved, isn't there?
It's called distance control. It's not the number on the bottom of the club you're hitting. It's knowing how far it goes to avoid mistakes just like that.
Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Getting set now over the putt. Well, once you hit double to par, it's time to just pick up and move on. Getting ready to tee off here at the 8th. Frank, this hole has it all. Dogleg, bunkers, water. How do you successfully navigate it?
It's such a pretty looking hole, Rich. That bunker down the left just sort of pops out and you see it. So you can either work it off that to the right, either that or just aim a little right. But be careful of those trees on the right.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Now playing the second here at the par 4.
Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not too
That's
bad.
not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. The Arnold Palmer Invitational is one of only 5 tournaments given what they call the invitational status by the PGA Tour, and consequently, it has a reduced field of only 120 players. The normal size of a tournament is 156.
And the strength of the field that they get year in, year out, it just validates Arnold Palmer's stature in the game.
Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down. Well, that's a smart shot. A lot of people would have tried to be a little more heroic from there, but there was no need.
Back on the fairway, back in play. You know what's great about Bay Hill is that it's the house that Arnold Palmer built, the King. And if you do visit Bay Hill, there's actually a decent chance that at some point you'll bump into Arnold, either in the grill room for breakfast or out of the driving range. Still loves the game, always has. And there's also a good chance that Arnold will say hello to you, look you in the eye. He is the best there ever was when it comes to fan interaction. Finishing up here on the front side at Bay Hill with a lengthy par 4. And what's the key, Frank?
Well, the hole's relatively flat, but the rough on the right comes into play. If you can carry that ball 300 yards, then just take it in over the bunker.
This is the second shot at the par 4.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just a couple of feet. A good effort, a good par putt. Back in Orlando, Florida at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, getting set for the second 9. Frank, how do you get off to a good start?
Well, Rich, it's one of the shortest par 4s really at Bay Hill. 3 bunkers, but as long as you avoid those, it's a great birdie opportunity.
He'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie.
Well, we'll never know if that had gone in, because it never made it.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Now to the par 4 11th, just a shade under 440 yards. Where are the difficulties here, Frank?
The water down the left, but the hole keeps going that way, almost in a semi-horseshoe fashion. 2 bunkers down the right, they always catch the stray tee shot, but once again, you don't have to hit driver here. You've got to get that ball in play. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, this one's headed way right.
And rough trees, all sorts of problems on that right side.
And it is not looking like a good lie. All right, now another shot from the rough.
Yeah, this time better be better than the one we just saw.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. And getting ready for the putt. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
So they'll tap in. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
Missed cut. What happened, Frank?
Just not good enough. That's the easy way. Way too many shots out there, especially for that caliber of play. So put it in the memory banks. Move forward. Better days ahead. EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage.
Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Action continuing here. We've just made the turn. Let's go out to number 10, see what's happening. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
When you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right.
And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's no snack, though.
No. That's not the way you want to start the back nine. Missed putt, bogey, and a drop shot. Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. So off the long par 3 10th, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally, down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
Frank, what do you want to do with this second shot here at the 11th?
Just a scoring club again, Rich. This is a chance to get off to a good start on that on the homeward 9. Anytime you get sort of 8-iron down, you can virtually go straight at the flag because this green pitches back towards the player.
Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
Knocks it up on the green. It is about 28 feet away from the hole. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. All right, on to the 12th hole, 442-yard par 4. What do you like about this hole, Frank?
Just a nice par 4 that sort of bends to the player's right. A lot of people will just stand up here, grab the driver. I don't really think you have to do that, Rich. The hole's not overly long. Just something short or down that left side. You're only going to have a short iron in for your second shot. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Well, Frank, certainly a chance to make a 3 here, but there's also a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, like a few of the greens on this golf course, if you just miss that target there, the ball has a tendency to run off in a different direction. Anything left of the flag here is liable to run towards the left, could even kick into that bunker.
Try up next. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Solid effort and reasonable result to stay at 1 over par. Thirteenth hole, par 3, 225 yards and heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
This is a cross-country special. This one has good line. Good birdie right there.
Yeah, this game, when you can't win, it's all about top 10s, top 20s. Currently, that's exactly where they stand.
Well, Frank, I really enjoyed this. The golf was outstanding, but the scenery was breathtaking.
Canada's just a beautiful part of the world to be enjoyed, to be savoured, really. And on a golf course, unlike a lot of the ones we see today, not overly long, very playable, enjoyable, and a golf course, certainly, that's going to give you a good score if you play well.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. It's second round coverage of the Alberta Classic. Back here at the par 4 14th, and we are ready to tee off 442-yard hole, Frank.
It's called wampum. My Canadian's not that good, so I don't know what that means, but the way I decipher it, another little dogleg to the right with bunkers all over the place. They're sort of in the place where you'd like to hit the tee shot is exactly where that crop of, 5 bunkers down the left side. So you're going to have to somehow squeeze it just right of that. Very awkward tee shot.
And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
He'll need to be strong with this. All right, the winds are starting to pick up. Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. What's the right way to approach it?
Well, you've really got to find out, first of all, the direction of the wind, and you have to be certain of it right now. And plus, if there's a gust, that's something you've got no control over.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That really hurts, Frank, missing the bogey putt.
Yeah, now time to get the handkerchief. Double bogey coming up.
Just a little tap in here. Going to have to regroup now after that double bogey. And Frank, ahead on the green, you could have a really crazy putt if you're not careful.
This is probably the most undulating green on the golf course, so you do not want to be going in with too flat a second shot. Are you for real? It was terrible.
Well, just needs to refocus right here. Out of bounds on that last shot, needs to keep this one in play. This will be the third shot after being penalized for going out of bounds. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. And setting up here in the rough.
Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Still at it, playing his fifth shot. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favour a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, looking at this approach now to the 16th, what does the player need to be aware of?
You've got to make sure you fly the ball every inch of the way here, Rich. The ball won't kick forward because of that false front. So making sure you at least club up, not club down. Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. Not in the fairway, but not too bad. Just in that first cut. Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole. From that spot,
well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
Boy, he looked like Ben Crenshaw right there. That was smooth and easy, right in the heart. Just 2 holes left here at Banff Springs, and Frank, another par 4. This one, short, 374 yards.
It is. It's named Sarcee, which is a tribute to the Indian tribes here and the First Nations of Canada. So just think about that when you're Teeing it off here on what is not an overly difficult par 4.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. This is one of the more challenging shots in the game, the fairway bunker shot, isn't it, Frank?
It is. You look at the distance involved, obviously what's in front of him now. He has to hit this shot absolutely clean.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long. Very happy with that one.
Yeah, lag putt, really, it's unrealistic to try and make those. So anytime you can two-putt from there is a good result.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of two things, the wind direction and exactly how far you can carry that tee shot if you want to find this fairway. Second shot. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? Do you hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
No, normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
You're just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult.
Now on the green, has about 10 feet left there to save par. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? That one was dead center. Not going so well for him. He has this for bogey. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires. Well, early exit for one of what I thought Rich was going to be the favorite, but their week's over.
Numbers don't lie in this case, in this sport, and now a missed cut. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the International Challenge. Well, this golf course goes back a long ways, to 1878, in fact. We're at Royal Troon Golf Club in Scotland. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo. And Frank, where are some of the scoring opportunities out here?
Well, normally when the Open Championships played, the breeze comes out of the sort of northwest, which means those first few holes are played down breeze and then the closing stretch is played into the breeze. So really you sort of make your hay on the way out and then you hang on for dear life on the way in. That doesn't really change because you have some rather short par fours to start.
Frank, the Open Championship will be played at Royal Troon in 2016. It was first played back in 1923. What was first prize then?
A mere 75 pounds, so that equates to about 150 US dollars. And just to give you an idea, the last time they played there, Rich, was back in 2004 when Todd Hamilton beat Ernie Els. He got a whopping 720,000 pounds. That's right, nearly $1.5 million.
The money's nice, but every player would tell you, Frank, it is still all about that claret jug.
It is, and that's actually suited the Americans because since 1962, they've been to Troon 6 times, and 6 times the victor has been American. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Headed for the bunker, I think. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
I'll tell you what, Phil the Thrill, Phil Mickelson could not have done it any better. What a bunker shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Fifth hole, and we pick up the action. Frank, you know this. You can't win a tournament in the first round, but you can lose it. As we catch up with our featured golfer, they need to turn this around just to make the cut.
And turn it around now.
That is classy.
Yeah, chance of going in.
Just 5 feet left. That birdie will help, Frank.
Certainly moving into the top half, that's for sure. And starting to narrow that number down in front.
Frank, it's all about the difficult rough off the right-hand side of the green here at the hole they call the slopes.
Yeah, 600 plus yards par 5, so really you don't want to be flirting with that right side.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
This is way left going left.
And that one's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it was a poor decision. But, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here.
And he's made it onto the green now. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, we're moving inland now to the 7th hole. It's a 405-yard par 4. What's ahead?
Little dogleg to the right, a couple of bunkers right on the corner of it. So once again, check the breeze and somehow find that fairway.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. Just a couple of feet. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Frank, here we are. All of 123 yards. It's the famous postage stamp hole.
It sits up there nice and proud. It's protected by 5 bunkers, but avoid the ones on the right. They're the deepest, all the way down on that right side. Should be safely on deck. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Getting set now over the putt. He'll take par and move on. And that'll do it from the shores of Scotland and historic Royal Troon Golf Club. For EA Sports, I'm Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo. We'll see you next time. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the International Challenge. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Always a treat to be in Scotland, Frank, and at one of the oldest golf clubs in the world, Royal Troon.
It's getting close to 150 years old. It was first established all the way back in 1878. Actually, the original golf course only had 5 holes on it. But over the Open Championship roster, this has probably been the most successful, or provided the most success to American players. The last 6 Open Championship winners were all American.
Has one of the most famous holes in all of major championship golf, the 123-yard par 3 8th. It's known as the postage stamp, and one of the legends had a really nice moment there many years ago.
The late Gene Sarazen, the Squire, he had a little ace there, all televised too, and it was a great way to remember his phenomenal career.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Anything you do differently with your setup?
Just dig my feet into the sand a little bit more, but make sure you focus on the exact spot on the ball you want to hit.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Has his par. Frank, another great example of links golf. It's not a particularly long hole, but there is trouble if you hit it offline.
Yeah, there's a bunker down there at about 280 yards that has to be avoided. Only the long hitters or perhaps the wind behind your back is the reason to take that bunker on.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
And he's made the green. Locked in on the read and the speed. He's made it. Frank, as we step to the tee here at the par 4 second hole, just 391 yards, but a classic case on links golf where the bunkering here is just so much different than a classic American layout.
And it's also where a change of strategy will certainly help. Remember, the ball's going to run much further here in Scotland than what it will in America. So you can use a shorter club and let that ball to run out to the normal distance you would hit it, perhaps with 2 or 3 clubs more.
Frank, it's a nice walk to make down the fairway when you can see your golf ball right there in the middle.
Rich, there's an old saying, fairway first. There's another example. Hit it in the fairway, and the game becomes very straightforward.
Just a beautiful tee shot. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. On the green. And a chance for birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Rich Lerner back at historic Royal Troon with Frank Novola, who's played the Open Championship on 2 occasions here at a golf course that goes back to the late 1800s. This is the first par 5, Frank, on the golf course, and you would think a chance to make a birdie and get that round started.
It certainly is. Dogleg right, 2 bunkers on the left. If you hit the ball a little bit straight, you'll certainly get into those pot bunkers. The one on the right, most people can carry. You carry that, this par 5, more than reachable.
Second from an excellent lie. Third shot, looking for a good one. Well, Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 with your third shot.
Well, they say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making a 6, though, well, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
Played that one on the commercial side, as they say in the professional game, inside 30 feet.
Yeah, 27 feet to be precise, but to make it from there, that's asking for a bit. Well, the 4th hole looks like it's going to claim another victim.
These putts keep the round together. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
At the par 3 5th, ready to get this hole started.
Prevailing breeze once again should be coming from the water, which is on the right. That makes that tee shot a little bit more difficult because it pushes the ball to those 3 bunkers on the left side.
That's a bit offline in the rough. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, sort of Djokovic or Federer or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. You decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field. Not a problem there, Rich.
Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Hard to be perfect in this game. That's a bogey. Don't forget third round coverage coming your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Navalo, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long for now.